Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Sadashivasamārambām Shankarācārya Madhyamām Asmadācārya Paryantāം Vande Guru Parampārām Shrutismriti Purāṇānaam Ālayam Karuణālayam Namāmi Bhagavatpādam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankarācāryam Keshavam Bādarayanam सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः उकारस्वन्धकारो वैरुकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयामदेवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः विषेमदेवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ नमो ब्रह्मविद्यासम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो नमः प्रज्ञानां शुप्रदानैः स्थिरचरनिकरव्यापिभिर्व्याप्य लोकान् भुक्त्वा भोगान् स्तविष्टान् पुनरपि दिषणोद्भासितान् कामजन्यान् पीत्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् स्वपति मधुरभुङ् मायया भोजयन्नः मायासङ्ख्यातुरीयं परम् अमृतमजं ब्रह्म यत्तन्नतोऽस्मि कल्पयत्यात्मनात्मानम् आत्मा देवस्वमायया स एव बुध्यते वेदान् इति वेदान्तनिश्चयः विकरोत्यपरान् भावान् अन्तश्चित्ते व्यवस्थितान् नियतांश्च बहिश्चित्तः एवं कल्पयते प्रभुः चित्तकाला हि येन्तस्तु त्वयकालाश्च ये बहिः कल्पिता एव ते सर्वे विशेषो नान्यहेतुकः अव्यक्ता एव येन्तस्तु स्फुटा एव च ये बहिः कल्पिता एव ते सर्वे विशेषस्विन्द्रियान्तरे कल्पयति आत्मना आत्मानमेव देवः स्वमायया स एव बुध्यते वेदान् इति वेदान्तनिश्चयः. Before that, the Vaitatyam, the Mithyatvam, Vaitatyam means Mithyatvam, the dependent nature of the worldly experience was pointed out. Ubayorapi Vaitatyam Vedanam Stanayoho स एक कहा एतान बुध्यते वेदान को वै तेषां विकल्पकः. The question is asked, if everything is false, if everything is vitata mithya, then who is the one that is imagining all these things and who is doing that creation? It is not just because I see there is sun and moon and mountains and all this. Someone is creating this kalpana. Vikalpakaha tesham kaha. Is there a creator? Somebody should create this. In order for me to see a world, it is not enough that I just imagine. That alone is not what is here. In dream it may be so, but in the waken it is not like that. So there is someone who is creating the vikalpa, the differences in the manifold world that I am perceiving. And all these experiences are not very small things. There are multiple galaxies, and within this you have Milky Way, and within this many planets, and within Earth, in one country, one state, one city, one street, one house I am there, a very small, minuscule entity. So you can't make me accountable for all this vikalpa. I can't be the one who created stars and Saturn and sun and moon. So vikalpakaha kaha. Who is the one that is creating all this? All this Veda. You can't just dismiss everything as this is all Maya. So to that, this answer is given here. Kalpayati atmana atmanam atma devaha swamayaya. Don't come from the inert world. The way you are looking at things now is you are looking at it from things which are objectified. The objectified, so there are only dvauhi padarthau, it is said. There are only two things. Things which are objectified and the objectifying entity. These are the only two things. Whatever is available to this cognition is one set. What is available to I cognition is another. There are only two things. There is a this cognition and there is an I cognition. And the this cognition includes everything, all the way from this towel, Angavastra, to the farthest star that you can see. The closest thing to the farthest thing, everything that is perceived, including all the emotions and thoughts and other things, they are all also known to you. So this all that is perceived as idam through this cognition is one set, and that which is not perceived through the this cognition is the other. If you understand this, then you have to see whether whatever is there in the this cognition, is it dependent on I cognition, or is the this cognition independent of the I? Similarly, is the I cognition dependent on this cognized things, or is it independent of the this cognition objects? Once you look at it that way, then you can recognize that the I is not dependent on any of the this, whereas whenever a this cognition is there, it is not separate from the I. Every part of the cognition in the this world is pervaded by the satta, the astitvam and the bhanatvam, the astibhati, the easiness and its ability to be perceived. That part, that core essence of it is rendered by your Swarupa, the I. Therefore, Karikakara says, Kalpayati Atmana Atmanam Atma Devaha. All the Karaka, the Kartri Karma, Karana Karaka, and then you can add Adhikaranam, Sampradhanam, Apadhanam, and all that. Because Bhashyakara says Atmani, therefore it is the Atma only which is manifesting itself as this Jagat, Kalpayati. So you can't say create. Create means again, it is a change. It implies a change. So there That's why it doesn't say srijati. The karika is kalpayati. Kalpayati atmana atmanam atma devaha. And this atma is not an inert object. Therefore, devaha. Devaha means Dyotanatvam has to be there. The effulgence comes from what? From Chaitanya Atma only. There is inert objects don't have effulgence, and whatever is seen in this cognition, none of them has their own effulgence, because it becomes available for transaction because of what? Because of your Swarupa. And that Swarupa only gives existence to all experiences. Therefore, the Devaha, and that Swarupa is not inert, it is conscious. Therefore, Devaha, Atma. Atma is Devaha. Swamayaya Sayeva Buddhyate. So it is that Atma only which is seeing everything. Iti Vedanta Nischayaha. Neha Nanasti Kinchana. We saw that. Swayam Swamayaya Swamatmanam Atma Devaha Atmani Eva Vakshimanam Bhedakaram Kalpayati. Rajvadaviva Sarpadi. Therefore, the Kalpayati is a superimposed experience. Rajvadav Sarpadiniva. Like on Sarpa, on Rajju, he is going to, in one of the Karikas, after 3 or 4 of the next Karikas, he is going to show how the Sarpakalpana on Rajju is happening. And he says on Rajju, which is not known properly, many things can be construed. But then it doesn't touch the nature of Rajju. Swayameva cha tan buddhyate Vedan. The Bodha is for the same Atma. So why Swayameva he has to say? Because in the previous Karika, the question was Vikalpakaha Kaha. Who is the one that is creating all the differences, and who is the one who is Buddhyate? Kaha yatan Buddhyate Vedan. Kaha vaitesham Vikalpakaha. So who is the Buddhyate? Swayameva Buddhyate. Who is Vikalpakaha? Atma eva kalpayati. The Vikalpakaha also is Atma. The one who is having the Bodha experience is also the Atma. Now you will ask, why should Atma create this world and go through that experience also and get itself in all this kind of trouble? Why? It can remain peacefully. Unnecessarily create this world, have all the mental problems, all the time struggling to find out where is happiness, just running behind in search of happiness everywhere. So why should it do all that? Swamayaya kalpayati. It is only an as though kalpana. So the Atma is not lost in the maze of it. It is all the time itself only. There is no change to Atma. So then what is this struggle is for the Jiva, which is also superimposed. So only the Antahkarana, which is actually getting into all this, because it doesn't recognize what its Swarupa is. So that is also as the only. The Mithya Jagat only is having all these struggles and all that. So there is no real Srishti. So it is not the Atma which is really getting into problems. All the problem experience is for the Jiva, which is also an incidental state in the Mithya Bhuta Jagat. Not recognizing the Swarupa, the Jiva is in problem. Recognizing its own Swarupa, the Jiva comes out of all this samsara. That is moksha. So the question is untenable if the question itself is within Mithya Jagat. Therefore, it can't be answered from Satya Swarupa, because from Swarupa perspective, there was never a Jiva. Atma has remained Atma, Brahman has remained Brahman all through. All this superimposed and all that is accounting for worldly experience. That's all. Technically, you don't have to answer this, because the question itself is in Vyavahara Dasha only. In Vyavahara Dasha, because the question is raised, an answer is given, Swamayaya, to account for all that experiences which seemingly is being undergone. Therefore, the Swarupa is always free of this. Only by recognizing it, you can be a mukta. You have to understand. Unless you recognize it that way, if you take the dukkha as real, when it is actually not real, and try answering it, you are, by trying to answering it within the mithya, you are trying to make it real. Therefore, it has to be dismissed, because there is no satyatvam in it. So only to account for it, we have to just say Maya. Therefore, that is Maya. We saw that in the last session itself. So Maya Swayameva Chatan Buddhyate Vedan Tadvati Eva Iti Evam Vedanta Nischayaha Na Anyaha Asti Jnanasmriti Ashrayaha Na Anyaha Asti Jnanasmriti Ashrayaha. There is nothing else. Because what else can create it? Where else can it be? It can only be in, everything is in Atma. So Jnana Smriti also is in Atma only. Because there is nothing other than Atma. Then only Mahavakya becomes meaningful. Tattvamasi. Whatever you are seeing as Jagat, whatever Jnanam which is happening, whatever memory, it all of them have their aspada, existence in Atma. In fact, everything has its existence in Atma, because the Satta, Atma is the Satta. The existence is Atma. So there is no other existence. Everything else, you look at it, their existence seems to depend on something else. We have already seen. Look at the cloth, the fabric and all that. Then finally, where does it goes into infinite regression until it hits the existence alone. Sanmatrameva, Satta eva. That Satta only is the existence. The rest is all what is Namarupa. Vachalambanam vikaro namadheyam. It is only word and some meaning associated with it. There is no substantive. The substantive is only existence alone. And where is that existence coming from? It's your own Swarupa, which is Chinmatra, the consciousness, awareness. The very essence of I is what is the Satta. The Sat is Chit. Therefore, Satchit. And it is Ananta. There is nothing other than it. Therefore, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Satchidananda. What is Sat is Chit, and what is Sat and Chit is Ananta or Ananda. There is no other Ananda. The source of Ananda is Swarupa only. Because there is nothing disturbing. It is Paramananda Swarupam. So, na anyaha asti. There is nothing else. Nacha niraspade eva jnana smriti vainashikanamiva. Because the Vainashikas, the Buddhas, say everything is Kshanika Vijnanam. There is a momentary flash of knowing, and it goes like, this the flies. What is that called? Which actually glows light, right? That kind of a fly. It just flashes of that light. It keeps flying. So here you will see one flash, after fraction of second you will see at another place. Like that, the Kshanika Vijnani says it's just spurts of knowledge, experience, happening on what? They say there is nothing underneath. So there is a niraspadatvam, shunyavada. So it can't be that way, is what? To dismiss that, sayeva buddhyate. There is a rajju. For sarpa to be there, there has to be a rajju, and it is, so you are not a shunya. You are the who experiences a shunya. Somebody has to come and say that there is shunya. So you can't say there is nothing. That also is a flash of, then the flash of knowledge, experience becomes truth. So then don't say everything is shunya. Vikaro विकरोत्यपरान् भावान् अन्तश्चित्ते व्यवस्थितान् नियतांश्च बहिश्चित्तः एवं कल्पयते प्रभुः. How is the Ishvara Kalpana? So Bhashikara introduces Sankalpayan kena prakarena kalpayati iti uchyate. How is this creation? What kind of creation is it? So there is a Sankalpa which is there on the part of Atma, but how is that creation? Okay, so to explain that, this Karika is here, is what Bhashikara says. Vikaroti aparan bhavan antaschitte vyavasthitan niyatanscha bahischittaha evam kalpayate prabhu. What is there antaha chitte? So a pot maker, in order to create, or let's take a sculpture, again and again, let's not take only pot maker. Let's take a sculpture, sculptor. He is going to create a sculpture. What sculpture? Let's say Sri Krishna, Venugopala Swami. Then in order to create that sculpture, the knowledge of Venugopala has to be there in the sculptor. In his mind, what is in front of him is already Venugopala. It's not a stone, full stone, but it is Ram Lalla. Let's take, that is where right now all the attention is. Ram Lalla, the 5-year-old or 4-year-old, whatever they are, the sculptor is going to sculpt for Janmabhoomi. In the mind of the sculptor, there is already the knowledge of, at least a visualization of how that Ram Lalla is. 4-year or not Lalla, 4-year-old Rama, Sri Rama is everything other than that Rupa. Those part of the stone he just has to remove, that's all. Means the knowledge of what is being created has to pre-exist. And that is what he says, antas chitte vyavasthitan aparan bhavan vikaroti. The nana karoti, Bhashyakara, vikaroti, nana karoti, aparan laukikan bhavan padarthan shabdadin anyanscha antaschitte vasana rupena vyavasthitan vyakritan. Whatever is there in the form of vasana, in the form of earlier srishti, that he manifest, he or she, just a Brahman, right? So we, because of convenience, we just keep saying he. There is no gender and all that. The Atma Vastu manifests itself as all that is experience. Vasana Rupena Vyavasthitan, in the form of Vasana. Where is the Vasana for Brahman? So the point is, whole thing is only a visualization of Brahma Vastu. Is what is, it's a Kalpana. Because Maya Karyam. To say that the terms like Vasana Rupena Vyavasthitan, Avyakritan, Avyakratan vyakaroti. Okay. The unmanifested elements are made manifest. That is Srishti. Like your dream. Whatever is there in some scattered form is brought out as a dream. For in your state of sleeping, dream comes from where it is unmanifest as a collection of experiences which is brought to fore as a dream. Similarly, Ishvara Avyakritan Vasana-rupena vyavasthitan antaschitte Nana karoti aparan laukikan bhavan. So it's brought forth as the vacant experience. And what are these niyatans? There are certain tangible things which are known to your senses. Prithiviyadin, Prithivi, Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apaha. Then Vrikshaha. Whatever. Phalani. Whatever you see, experience, Surya, Chandra, Tara, Nakshatrani, whatever are there, Niyatan, Prithiviyadin, Aniyatanscha, Kalpana Kalan, and even things which are fantasized, things which are like emotions, anger, all these experiences, and your own dream is also part of this creation. Actually, when we are talking about the total dream is taken as an example, but the creation we are talking about is not only vacant state, includes the dream and deep sleep also. The whole thing is a creation only. Prithiviyadin, aniyatan kalpana kalan, niyatan prithiviyadin, aniyatan kalpana kalan, vikaroti. So the creation is both tangible, sensory experiences and intangible, which are the mental experiences. Both are part of the creation. The next few verses is going to talk this difference between the mental experience and sensory experience. There are loads of sensory experiences that I am seeing a sun and a moon and a mountain and this body, I am touching this place, I am smelling the fragrance. All of that is niyata experience. They are there. Why it is niyata? Because there is a stability in it. I see a mountain today, I sleep, tomorrow morning I get up, I can see the same mountain, maybe with little bit more snow on it. But I can see the same mountain there. There is a niyatatvam. But kalpana kalatvam is there for certain things. Like today I was sitting and thinking about what kind of flooring I should put in the new house that I am constructing. That is kalpana kala. Right now, I thought, how will it look if I have some Eurocon tiles? Then I thought about how will it look if I go for a wood panel. So all those thoughts are only for that time. The same thing is not going to come tomorrow. But the mountain is there. Yesterday it was there, today it is there, tomorrow it will be there. There is a niyata. So both are part of the kalpana. It is not the dream and whatever I'm imagining is part of the Atma Kalpana, but whatever is tangible to the senses is also part of Kalpana. That is the essence of this. And we will, the Karika Kara is going to discuss this further, because that question will come. Obviously, you will have that question. How can you say a mountain which is there tangibly is a part of Kalpana? Tata antaschitte manoratadi lakshanan iti evam kalpayati prabhu ishvaraha atma. So how is the srishti? In this Karika, he says, it is the Atma which is Nano Karavati, both in the form of tangible experience and intangible experiences. Then Bhashyakara links the next Karika, Swapna Vate Chitta Parikalpitam Sarvam Iti Etat Ashankyate. So is it like a dream? Like, so are you saying, that is the question. So we already preempted this question by talking about it. But actually the question is, there is a doubt. Are you trying to say Vekan is exactly like dream? Swapnavate chitta parikalpitam sarvam. Is it like everything is only you see, therefore it is there? Is that what you are saying? You think, therefore it is. In dream, you think, therefore it is there. You think that there is your mind is imagining that there is an elephant coming in front of you, therefore that elephant is there. Whereas in the Vacan, it is not the case. It is, therefore you see. Just because I am imagining, it's not that why I am seeing a mountain. I am seeing a mountain. My neighbor is also seeing a mountain. So the other people are also seeing the same mountain. So it is not that purely chitta parikalpitam. So that doubt is there. Are you trying to say it is the same? So to counter that, that doubt itself is clarified here in this Karika. Chitta kala hi entastu द्वयकालाश्चये बहिः कल्पिता एव ते सर्वे विशेषो नान्यहेतुकः. Karikakara says there are two kinds of things. We know what they are, right? One is, like we said, the fantasized things or imagined things, and sensorily tangible things. That is how we define. But Karikakara defines it in another way. Chittakala, one set of things which are Chittakalaha. They are available only till the time I am imagining about it. That's all. Whether it is the dream things or in the waken, whatever is my fantasy, my imagination, they exist until my imagination exists. So their existence is dependent on my imagination. Whereas in the other case, dvayakalascha ye bahihi. There are the twofold time is there in the sensory experiences. They are there, therefore you see. Okay. So there is also time wise, there are 2 points in time it is there. The same mountain was there yesterday, it is there today. Whereas the fantasy, that specific fantasy, was gone by the time my fantasizing got over, my imagination got over. There is only one kala. Here there is dvikala, many points in time, and also there is a anyonya parichetagatvam also is there. We'll see. Bhashyakara will talk about it. So there are two kinds of things. Chittakalaha, objects which have existence, which are qualified by an existence until the period of it being imagined or fantasized, or like a lightning. It is there only for a momentary time. Okay, but there is a dvaya, because it is a transient. There are things which are experienced as transient experiences. And then you have Dvayakalaha Bahihi, which are non-transient experiences. So set of transient experiences, set of non-transient experiences, which are Dvayakalaha. However, Kalpita eva te sarve. Visheshaha na anya hetukaha. So Kalpitatvam is there for both. And he says survey, all of them. All the Chittakala objects, all the Dvayakala objects and experiences. When we say objects, the experience. Object means what? The experience of the object. There's no object. What is there is an experience of object, right? That experience says, by the experience, we are making a conclusion the object exists. But what exists is only an object experience, and that experience has its existence in your Sarupa. So, but our mind thinks that object exists. We dissociate the experience. In fact, we are not even conscious that it is actually an experience. We think there is an object and I am seeing that object. But the fact is, there is an object experience which is there. Like in the dream. During the dream, you think that object exists, but it is only the experience of the object which was existing all through the dream. It's a similar thing. Kalpita eva te sarve. All of them are kalpita. Kalpita means not exist. They don't have reality other than them being Atma. It's only the nature of the reality we are talking about. We are not dismissing that there is any experience at all. That is not what it is. Is there a satyatvam in that object? There is other than it being the Atma. So there is no Maya, Mithya, all that. Okay. Once you look at everything as Atma, Mithya, Maya, all that goes away. The only thing can say Atma, that's all. But teaching is to show that. Now we have to say Kalpita, all those things. Because otherwise, again Mayavadi, all these discussions will come. Okay. So understand it that way. Chitta Kala Hi Antaha, whereas Dvayakalascha Bahihi. Whatever is as the external, perceived as external through your senses, they have a nature of two points in time status, whereas what is perceived as internal, they have only Chitta Kala until the time of fantasizing, imagining they exist. However, all of them are Kalpita eva, and they have no other hetu. Sarve Visheshaha na anya hetukaha. There is no other hetu. Kalpitatva vyatirekena anya hetukaha na. No, they don't, other than them being kalpita, there is no other hetu. There is no parinamitvam. They haven't transformed. So the Swapna Drishtanta is relevant, is what Bhashyakara is going to say. Now let's look at Bhashya. Yasmat chitta parikalpitaihi manorathadi lakshanaihi chitta parichedyaihi vailakshanyam bahyanam अन्योन्य परिच्छेद्यत्वम इति सा न युक्ता आशंका. So what is the ashanka here? What is the doubt? Doubt is there is a difference. Isn't there a difference? What difference? There is a known kalpana in our day-to-day life, which is called manoratha, and maybe swapna, dream, imagination, fantasizing. This is all kalpana, I can understand. I am imagining that at the center of Indian Ocean, there is a huge mountain on which Devendra is sitting. Let's say, some kalpana. That is a kalpita stuff. Maybe it's there, I don't know. I mean, assuming it's not there, let's say it's a kalpana. That is understandable. But there are also other things like Mount Everest. That is not a kalpana. That is not chitta parikalpita. Everybody knows that there is a Mount Everest there. Therefore, the kalpana, is it relevant for both? That kind of an ashanka can be there. That's what he introduces. Yasmat chitta parikalpitaihi manoratadi lakshanaihi. The purely mentally concocted, imagined, fantasized manoratha, mental activity and dream kind of things, because Adipada is there. Lakshanaihi chitta parichedyaihi. It is purely mentally differentiated set of things. Taihi vailakshanyam. There are other, different from them, distinguished from them, there are bahyanam anyonya parichedyatvam. There are sensory objects like the Mount Everest, which are different from the chitta parikalpana, which is purely manoratha. So you can say a mountain in the center of Indian Ocean with Devendra sitting on it as a parikalpana, but not the existence of Mount Everest. There can be a doubt. Bhashyakara says, Sana Yukta. No, both are parikalpana only. This doubt itself has no basis. What do you mean? He says, Chittakala. Hi ye antastu chitta parichedyaha. Na anyat chittakala vyatirekena parichedakaha kalaha yesham. Te chittakalaha. So he's giving explanation for the Karika here. Chittakalaha. What are chittakala? Things which are having a time as much as chitta, that mental activity is. Those things are called chittakalaha. Chitta parivanaha eva kalaha yashante is how we can say. Sambhaurihi samasa. The things for which the kala is only in chitta. Okay, so this is about the things which are having chittakala. Ye antaha tu chitta parichedyaha. They are available as mentally segregated set of experiences. Na anya chitta kala vyatirekena parichetaha kalaha yesham. Other than the time which is defined by the amount of time you are imagining, they don't have any other time. So the time for the objects, like, so how long was time was that Indra sitting on mountain in Indian Ocean was until the time I imagined and spoke about it. That's it. Tomorrow you go and see there is no Indra sitting there. Even today he wasn't there. But that experience for me in my mind happened at the moment I imagined that. Therefore, the time of it, that is only till the time that imagination was. And this means is basically covering all mental activities by this. Okay, so you have to understand that all mental activities. So there are two sets of things. There is a mental set of things, and there are tangible set of things. That's what he's trying to differentiate. So Chittakala Vyatirekena Parichedaka Kalaha Yesham. So you can call it as Chittakalaha. These are things which are Chittakala, the experience which are qualified by having a time as much as the imagination is. Okay. Te Chittakalaha Kalpana Kalaha Eval Upalabhyante Ityartaha. Now the other set is Dvayakalaha. Dvayakalascha Vedakalaha Anyonya Parichedyaha. They are mutually, so there are two ways of, there is a pratyabhijna. In fact, I thought the Tikakara spoke about, anyway, let's see. See, Tikakara talks about pratyabhijna. If you see here, Kalpitanam, Kalpana Kalad Anyasmin Kale, Sattva Abhavat, Jagrad Bhavanam cha Kalpana Kalat Kalantare api Pratyabhijnaya Sattva Avagamat, Anupavannam Tesham Mityatvam. Iti ashankya. So pratyavijna, the recollection of its existence is what he calls as dvayakala. There is a recollection of my experience of Mount Everest, and that recollection also is from memory. See, I can recollect my imagination also. It's not that I can't. That Indra sitting on the mountain within Indian Ocean can also have a pratyabhijna. It is, I had this kind of a fantasy yesterday, can be a pratyabhijna. Here the pratyabhijna is about actually seeing Mount Everest. So that is how he defines dvayakalatvam. Whereas Bhashyakara is slightly, he doesn't take that kind of a line. If you see here, dvayakalascha bedakalaha anyonya parichedyaha. There is a mutual qualification, okay, of two things. What? Yata agodohanam aste. He was there until the cow was milked. So there are two things here. He being there and cow being milked. The cow being milked is an external thing. And he being there is his thing. Okay. Like I was there. Let's take this. If you take it in third person, it is difficult to understand. Take it in first person, then it is easy. I was there until cow was milked. Now I being there is an independent thing. Like I dreamt, okay, or I imagined Indra sitting on a mountain in the ocean. Let's take. Now there also I imagined is one statement, and this mountain, Indra sitting on mountain, is another thing. Likewise here also I am there and milking of cow is there. Now these can be two independent things. There is no mutual dependence on them. But in the case of, if I say yata agodohanamaste, if I have to make a statement, there is a mutual dependence that till the cow milking happened, I was there, and cow was milked until I was there. Okay, that's what Bhashikara says. Yavad aste tavad gam dobdhi. Until he was there, the cow was milked. Yavad gam dobdhi tavad aste. Till the cow was milked completely, he was there. Tavan ayam yetavan saha iti. Tavan ayam yetavan saha. He is this much, and this is as much as he is. Iti paraspara parichedya parichedakatvam bahyanam vedanam. The external things have a mutual dependence. So I can see the mountain as long as the mountain was there, and the mountain was seen as long as I was there. Okay. If it is a statement, so both the existence also qualifies the person seeing it. Even if the person didn't see it today, tomorrow he can come and see. So there is okay, look at it like this. The same example that we gave earlier, I saw the Indra sitting on mountain. It is only dependent on I seeing it. It is not dependent on Indra's mountain being there because it is not there. Whereas in this case, the cow being milked has no dependence on this person seeing it. But there is a connection in the sense he was there till the time it was milked. Okay. So that is, he need not have been there until it was fully milked. But then he was there was a statement made to show that he was there until it was fully milked. But it doesn't have its dependence on the cow being milked or not at the time he was there. Okay, so cow was milked for 20 minutes, he was there only for 12 minutes, let's say. That is also valid. So you have to say that he was there for all the 20 minutes. Then only you can say he was there throughout. Otherwise, he could have there only for 12 minutes. Whereas that is not possible in the case of Indra sitting on mountain, because it is only dependent on the person who is seeing it. Not about the mountain and Indra sitting there, because there is no truth in that. So that is the difference. Okay. That is a difference between an imagination and actual. But then that difference doesn't mean they are not mithya. Okay, that's what he's saying. The ekakala dvayakala visesha or chittakala dvayakala visesha, even if it is there, it is not necessary that that visesha denies the kalpitatvam. Because the kalpitatvam is drishyatvat kalpitam. Drishyatvam is there. Now let's come to that. Okay, yavad gam dobdi tavadaste tavan ayam etan etavan saha tavan ayam etavan saha iti paraspara parichedya parichedagatvam bhakyanam vedana. Whatever is perceived through senses, it is not because you are perceiving it is there, but because it is there, that's why you are perceiving. But then they both are of same order of reality. That is the point. Okay. So there is a kala beda, there is a time difference, which is the nature of time is what varies. But all of them have it their satta in Atma only. So that doesn't change. The te dvayakalaha, antaha chittagalaha, bahyascha dvayakalaha, kalpita evate sarve. Whether it is dvayakala or it is chittakala, okay, the kala itself, the time itself has its dependence, existence rooted on Atma. So, dvikalatvam, dvayakalatvam or chittakalatvam doesn't make oneness more true. This is the most fundamental argument of saying Jagat is Satyam, right? The Satyatvam is why? Because you are saying it is not dependent on me for it to exist. But its exist, what is the problem is you don't recognize that its existence is inseparable from it being experienced. That is the thing. Dvayakalatvam only is there, that's all. But the factual aspect is it doesn't have its own satta. Na bahyaha dvayakalatva viseshaha kalpitatva vyatirekena anya hetukaha. So kalpitatva vyatirekena anya hetukaha na. So the dvayakalatva visesha also has a kalpitatva hetu. The hetu is, the kalpitatva hetu is because of what? Atrapi, Bhashyakara gives an example. He swapna drishtantaha bhavati eva. What is the swapna drishtanta? Drishyatvat. So, and in swapna also you have this actually. In swapna also, at the time of swapna, that we have already seen that dvayakalatvam, in swapna, in your mind you are imagining some things. And in swapna also there is a dvayakala. So we saw that example, right? You are having a dream. You are sitting on an elephant. There is another elephant approaching you, or you are standing on the road. Let's take this is another swapna. You are standing on the road, an elephant is approaching fast towards you. Okay, then within the swapna you are imagining this elephant is going to lift you and throw it on the side of the road and run away. So you are like having a fear. But you saw the elephant coming towards you. Now it comes near you and uses its trunk and then blesses you and goes away. Now there is a chitta kalatvam of the imagination even within the dream that it is going to throw you. There is a dvaya kalatvam in the point that that elephant's movement is dvayakala only within the dream. Because that elephant which I saw at that time, about which I made a thinking that it is going to thrash me, at this time it has come and blessed me. So dvayakalatvam is there. Swayam Devadatta. That Devadatta is this Devadatta, again separated by time. So the dvayakalatvam is there in Swapna also. So Swapna, but both are Kalpitam. Within the Swapna, the Chittakala of my imagining that the elephant will thrash me was Kalpitam. And the Dvayakala where the elephant actually approaching me and doing something else was also Kalpitam. Likewise here also, the Chittakala things which are fantasies of my mind, and the Dvayakala things which are actual things happening, they both are Kalpitam because they have their existence in Sat only. There is no other existence. Therefore, Kalpitatva Vyatirekena Anya Nanya Hetukaha, both are Kalpita only. Avyakta eva yentastu, sputa eva cha evahihi, kalpita eva te sarve, viseshastindriyantare. We'll see that in the next class, but I thought we will quickly look at this because what is the difference? See, you are sweeping both these, saying both are Kalpita. But there is a difference, no, between them. What is the difference? In the next verse he is saying, Visheshaha Indriyantare. It is only the instrument by which you are seeing them that is different. The instrument by which you do the Chittakala things are seen is only your mind. But the instruments through which the Dvayakala things are seen is through your senses along with your mind. So your five senses and mind together are perceiving Dvayakala objects. Mind alone as an Indriya is perceiving the Chittakala objects. Both of them, you as a drashta are experiencing using instruments of knowledge, either antahkarana or a bahyakarana. By these karanas only you are experiencing. But what is being experienced have their satta in your swarupa. Therefore, there is no difference in them being mithya vitata. The only difference is through which karana that experience is happening. That's all. In one thing, mind alone, antakarana alone is used. Here, bahya karana also are together used. So that is a difference. But there is no fundamental difference that you are experiencer. Using your karanas, you are having an experience. In that, there is no difference. Therefore, both are kalpita eva. And how we will see in the next day. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.